Hey, what's up, Iceman? How's it going? Oh, hanging in there. Ended up with a sinus infection this week, but other than that, just plugging away on stuff. Just falling apart, that's all it is. Getting older and falling apart. How's your projects coming along? Well, that's good. Plan on doing like a whole weekend thing or just a couple hours here or there? Well, that sounds good. I mean, you're doing a hell of a job on it, so it's coming along pretty good. Hey, TV Racer. If you hit me up through my website and use the contact button, I'll get back to you. You just gotta bear with me on replies. This past week, I had a lot going on, so I didn't Sunday reply to anyone. So if you replied to me there, I just didn't get to you. But if you didn't, just do that. Hey, what's up, Raccoon? Or if you you can ask it to him from my email, one way or the other. You can do that. No, you're doing good with it, man. Just gotta keep plugging away. Just don't overthink it either. But the good thing is you work on it and then you work all week long, so you're not looking at it all day. So when you come back to it, you got like fresh eyes. So that's always a good thing too. I think it looks looking pretty good. You definitely are taking your time with it, which is good. Hey Terrell, this Wolverine? No, this is one of those dynamic forces, Wolverines. What it was is I'll show you in the video. The guy that I'm doing it for didn't like the way the legs were all like he had this bigger upper body, he had these really tiny legs, so I built out all the muscles and I thickened up the booty area a bit, so it looks more like he's got mass. And the other thing too is he didn't like the claws were all screwed up, so I actually cut claws off of a fork. I'm not very good with claws. He knows I'm not good with claws, so this is the best idea I came up with. But the problem is I tried to buff them as much as I could, and I couldn't get them buffed out. These were just like a cheap fork at like Walmart. So this is kind of what I'm doing for him on this. I think this is a Dynamic Forces Wolverine. Is it Dynamic Forces? The box is over here. Maybe it's not. It's Diamond Select. Alright, I was wrong. I knew it was like a diamond thing, something. It's Diamond Select Wolverine. Old statue. Probably from 2005? Yeah, something like that. For the mask, you can sort of see, hopefully you can see it in the camera, what I did is I did some black paint around there. And then when I mask off the yellow, I have a little bit of room for error, so hopefully it'll work out. I didn't want to paint the black on his outfit, but I had to do it with a paintbrush because he's so small. So once I get the blue on him, I'll probably hit some of the outfit with a little bit more satin once I kind of clean up a little bit more. So a lot of the problems with these older statues around the 2005 era is they're not like casted really great. So there's some issues here and there. A lot of the older stuff is really rough. Really rough. Even some of the bone stuff has some rough edges on areas too. But there's a lot of collectors out there that like this scale over like, you know, 1/6 or this was I guess this is what, 1/7 I would say scale for the old Marvel stuff. So he's the guy that gets this, he likes the smaller stuff better. So I'll figure I'll get the blue done now. And then afterwards I can do the black, get the belt done. I'll do the shoulder pads last. I'll give the shoulder pads a little bit of a metallic to it. Maybe I'll add some like edging on it to make it look like it's a little worn too for them. And then at the end is paint the base up a special way. And then try to add, I had to break out the claws too because they were glued in there and the claws actually bend. They were really horrible. It's such a rough sculpt too. They actually kind of tried to sculpt hair into his arm, but they really didn't sculpt hair. They just like used a tool and they kind of just jagged it. So oh, and then he had skulls all over the base, so I sculpted over the skulls. I think does it have a picture, sort of? You can see there was all these skulls at the bottom of the base, and he didn't like all the skulls down there for his collection, so we got rid of that. Oh yeah, this was definitely sculpted back in 2005. Yeah, I remember going to the comic book store and seeing this on the shelves. You know, these were pretty popular back then. I mean, this is kind of like, this is the Bowen era. You know, so you had Bowen designs, you had Dynamic Forces, Diamond Select, and I think Hard Hero was kind of around then too. But I think Hard Hero was the larger ones. So a lot of the Dynamic Forces and Diamond Select stuff were really rough sculpts, like rough, you know. Like back then they were amazing because it was like, holy cow, you know, it's like you never saw a statue like that on, you know, ever before with that kind of detail. But now when you look at them compared to like new, you know, stuff out there now, it's really, really like rough stuff. Even the factories did a piss poor job back then. Like all those Justice League animated statues, like all those paints are like cracking now on people. Stuff like that. Like back then, you go to a comic book store, you'd see this Wolverine on like everybody's shelf in the comic book store. I think the prices of these probably were like what, around like probably 45 bucks back then, 35 maybe, something like that. And even back then, people were like, I'm not spending that much money on a statue, you know, it's crazy. I could be wrong, could be a little bit less, but I think the average price of these were like around 35, 45. Although masking these are a pain in the ass because they're so small. Yeah, I saw that raccoon. I saw that everyone's talking about that video. That's crazy. But that's where we're headed, so. Yeah, you get that Iceman no matter what. Even if you use tape, you still get that loaded, like, you know, you get a layer of paint higher. So the goal is you try not to overspray around the edge, if you can help it. Because if you do paint, and then you do a layer of clear coat on top of it, you're going to get an extra layer. So that's kind of why I do trimming. Like I did all this black trimming around here with the paintbrush. With superhero stuff, you have such hard lines because you have the gloves and then you have skin tone. So you sort of get that layering like you're talking about. Whereas like a monster kit, you could kind of like blend into it. Yeah, I do all my trim so I know where the mask is. So you can see I did like a blue trim around the undies here. So it's easier to find my masking. And I would have done it on the gloves, but I don't need to because there's a fairly hard line there. So when I'm ready to do the black after I do the blue, I'll do a black trim around it. That's just helps me find the line. Like if you make a dirtier statue, like if the superhero or monster is going to be dirtier, you can get away with like having a little bit messier paint sometimes. But a lot of guys want their superhero stuff clean. So oh, Raccoon, did you ever get your kits in yet, or are you still waiting on them? I got one kit in from the E2046 site. It's a little bit more on the adult side, so I can't really do that one on YouTube. But it should be actually a fun kit to work on whenever I get caught up on stuff. I mean, they got so much stuff to produce, I don't know how to get through it all, so. I would show the kit that I got, but YouTube won't like it. I'll save that one for Picardo. I grew up on Marvel. You know, when I first got into comic books, I was used to I was real like it. I was, you know, at first you discover Spider-Man and stuff like that, but then when I was really started going to like comic book stores and I was able to buy my own comics, I discovered X-Men. So I loved X-Men growing up. Like Wolverine was like, you know, my favorite character too. And then I fell in love with Captain Marvel in the 90s, and I stopped reading like X-Men and any of the any of the Avengers stuff or anything else. And then when House of M came out, I used to read Flash too. I like Flash as well from DC, but I wasn't into Flash that much. But when House of M came out with Marvel, that's when I completely said I'm done with Marvel. I hate what they're doing. So I got into DC, and I started going through all the old DC stuff, and I found that I like DC better. I love the Flash. I started getting into Young Justice, you know, the Peter David storylines. Then I discovered Multiple Crisis on Infinite Earths, and then I just kind of went down the rabbit hole, and I just started reading DC. And then I think it was Infinite Crisis is kind of when I got into Power Girl. Then I went back and I read all her old stuff from the old Star stuff, and I liked the old. Then I discovered JSA, and I started liking all the old JSA books. And then Jeff Johns around the 2005 era or 2003 was doing the JSA books, and I fell in love with that stuff. So I guess as of now, I'm kind of more of a DC fan. I actually just snagged the book too. Let me go grab it. I'll show you guys. So what I've been doing is I'm collecting up all the old JSA books, and I want to get really nice copies of the stuff. So I want to get all the JSA books that had like Alex Ross artwork on them. So I have a lot of these already graded at a 9.8, but I want to get them signed by Alex Ross. So somebody actually had this up on eBay for a really good price, so I decided to buy this one finally. Because when I do my display room, I want to have like all these books up next to the statues. So this is a really good key book for Power Girl. It's kind of like her origin, sort of, from Earth 2, like where she came from. So I got this book, and I'm getting a couple of the other JSA signed by Alex Ross. I sent it in to CGC, so I'm gonna have a really nice setup and everything. Because I've been selling stuff like crazy. I want all this key stuff, so I'm pretty happy I got this book. You know what it is trying to find Alex Ross at a show and get online. It's a nightmare. So I just said, let me just send it in. But yeah, this is like one of my favorite books and stories. So yeah, 90s was, you know, the whole cartoon era. You know, the whole all that stuff. But I don't know, I just became more of a DC fan. I just started, I think it was Joe Quesada, when he became editor-in-chief for Marvel. That pretty much turned me off to everything Marvel. I didn't like his direction at all. He killed off all my favorite characters, and he started pushing all the characters I never really cared about, like Iron Man, Avengers. He just, I don't know, I just didn't like his direction, what he did with Marvel. He pretty much sidelined all the X-Men characters. He killed off Captain Marvel. He killed off a lot of 90s characters because he didn't like the 90s at all. So that's kind of when I shifted to DC. And when I started going down the rabbit hole of DC books, like buying them and reading them, I actually realized that DC stories were better than Marvel stuff. So... when did House of M came out? I think House of M came out around 2005, I think, probably. Around there. Basically what he did is he killed off all the mutants, you know? He had, but that had to do with the whole, what was it, Fox owned the rights to X-Men, so Marvel was like, you know what? Since you own the rights, we're not going to make the comics anymore. So that was that. It was like a whole pissing contest, and the fans suffered. So that's when I said, screw it, I'm going to read DC stuff. Hey, what's up, Raz? Yeah, I never read the Black Lantern stuff. You know, like the Blackest Night or any of that stuff. I did pick up the JSA Blackest Night series, which I think was 3 issues. I haven't read those yet, though. But once I read those, if I get into it, then maybe I'll start like going back and reading the whole like Lantern Corps Blackest Night stuff. I heard it was pretty good. I just kind of, by the time that came out, I wasn't buying any comics anymore. Yeah, the action figures are tough. That's why I give a lot of credit to those guys who do the custom action figures, because they actually use paints where the arms and legs can bend. And I don't know how they do that without the stuff scraping, but some of these guys do some really cool action figure stuff. Yeah, I don't know what's, what was the last thing I read of X-Men? Well, like I said, when House of M came out, Quesada killed off all the X-Men, so whatever came after House of M, I don't know anything about X-Men. I think what really got me into DC is when 52 came out, and Infinite Crisis. 52, not the new 52, but the 52 leading the new 52. there was so much information in every book that literally it had me going to the comic book store and picking up back issues to find out like why these characters were this way. And that's what I loved about the information of DC, what they were doing, because the writers was it like Perez, Ordway, or just all those guys who were writing that stuff. They had so much knowledge of DC that it was just like an overload of just every issue, just going back trying to figure out and read up on characters. So that's how I came to find out I like Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. You know, these characters were so well written, and I never knew it. So. I mean, I've been buying some of the new DC stuff with just those variant covers of the Power Girl covers and some other stuff, but I sort of tried to read the Action Comics, and it was kind of eh. The artwork was eh, but the covers are awesome. So. Yeah, see, that's what I like, Raccoon, about like comic book writers that can actually make you go to a comic book store and read up some old stuff to figure out what the hell's going on. Some of the new writers now, they just make up stuff and they change the characters completely because they don't know the history. So, you know, this goes back to like what we talked about previously, how everybody now is kind of like, they talk about gender reveals and pronouns and, you know, sexual orientation, where when you go back and you read old comics, it was just about like heroes and villains and stuff. So oh, excuse me. Ah, damn, this sinus infection is still killing me. I got antibiotics, but they're not really kicking in just yet. I'm hoping that the comic book companies clean house and they get back some of these old writers. You know, guys that actually know the history of the characters. But for now, I'm actually I'm picking up a lot of the Golden Age stuff. So I went to a comic book show last weekend with some friends, and I was kind of going through some of the bins trying to find some of the Golden Age stuff. Because I'm trying to upgrade my quality of a collection and also read some stories I never read before. So I'm kind of having fun finding some old DC stuff I still haven't read yet. So I sold off all my 90s X-Men books, all my Spider-Mans. All I have left is key graded books, some old DC stuff like Impulse and Flash, and that's pretty much it. Tomorrow I'm actually going to be painting my TV room, and then after that I'll start putting my cases and everything together. So hopefully in a month or two I can actually do a video and show you guys my collection room. I could kind of show you some of the books I got. I know a lot of people have been asking me about my collection room, so getting to the point where it's almost ready to go. Hold on, I got something to drink. My throat's going. Hey Daniel, yeah, this is just silly putty. You know, your silly putty you get in eggs. You know, just regular silly putty. So you can put it over your item, it won't stick to paint, and you can paint and then pull it off. So we're gonna actually start painting the blue now, so let me switch over. Alright, so we got, gonna try some of this darker Vallejo water, this game color. And got a nice color of Caldor Sky from Citadel. So this is a game color from Vallejo, and it's Azul Imperial, and it looks just like a dark blue. So this might work pretty well to shade it. Oh yeah, Iceman, I put them up for sale. So I think I'm down to 8 or 9 left, I think. Yeah, a lot of people really reached out and picked them up already, so far doing pretty good for only putting them up a few days ago. I put them up Sunday. Yeah, Sunday I put up the video. And they're going well pretty so far. And I appreciate the help on that too. It worked out pretty good, so. But I have 2 I sent out invoices to, but I don't know if I haven't heard from the people, so they might back out, which is fine. I'm not looking to sell them all right away in 1 week. Sometimes it takes a while for people. So what I did is Patreon members get a discount. Then I sell them regular to people to a regular price, and then I put them up on eBay for more money. But if you see it on eBay and you're watching this video and you want one, always contact me off of eBay. Because I always give discounts off of eBay, because eBay takes all those damn fees, so. Yeah, if you want to, I appreciate it. What I did was, it's on my site in the for sale section, you know, and I put the information there. But like I said, you know, if you make a post, you could just tell people, you know, they are on eBay, because I know some people want eBay security, but I always try to sell stuff off eBay at a better price. But yeah, so far what they're selling is helping me out a lot. You know, I'm able to, you know, work on some future projects, able to pick up some new materials, stuff like that for future stuff. A character you like, huh? Yeah, well, at least it's not a Jim Lee Wolverine. It's just a Wolverine. If it was a Jim Lee Wolverine, then I guess I would have to pass, just to spite you. Nelson, a life size. The only life sizes I ever worked on was repairing them for people in the past, but I've never really painted up a life size. The problem with the life-size bus is people that asked me to paint them up were like across like the country in like California, so to ship it back and forth and risk damages would just never work. If it was somebody that was closer and I had an opening, I probably could, but I don't know. I think maybe we should make Child of the Atom the first person I ban on my channel, just for spite. What do you guys think? Then we can make him a t-shirt. VinceVell banned me from his channel. I gotta mix up some airbrush cleaner and let that dry, so yeah, so I guess I'll show you guys. So for Mr. Child of the Atom, who is Mr. Special, this is his Jean Grey I'm working on, so we're gonna do a full head repaint. What I'm thinking of doing is, after I'm done, I'm thinking of writing down like "you're an asshole" here to him. So every time he picks up the bust from his thing, he knows I'm calling him an asshole. We have to do something to spite him on this, so. But so far it's looking pretty good. No, we don't have that many. Just a key one popped in the chat. Just a key one, and that's it. What, is that a Spaceball reference too? Yeah, that's a good Spaceball reference. Alright, hold on, I'm still making up some more airbrush cleaner. I should put the 71 in there. Once this Wolverine's done, we'll start building the wall for that anime kit. We'll start doing the pour of resin. Get that going. Probably gonna, we'll see how that works. I'm hoping it works. Yeah, I guess. Sorry, camera. Gotta get this camera fixed. No, wrong one. Alright, so at least I got some cleaner made up. It's probably gonna flip the camera back. There we go. Yeah, you know what happened is Kyle the Atom came in chat and YouTube was like, oh, we gotta ban that guy. That's what happened. Like, no, we can't have this clown in chat. Yeah, I know what it is this one camera, I have to set up a better arm system, and I think I got to do it off the ceiling, because it for some odd reason every time I touch it over here it just goes to hell. Gotta fix it. Alright, so I'm gonna hit this with some satin varnish real quick, just to kind of give it a seal. No, it's not his Wolverine. If it was his Wolverine, I don't think I'd be doing it. He doesn't trust me with his stuff. His Wolverines go to other people. Or it sits on the shelf for 30 years and nobody paints it. He's a strange boy. He's a strange one. No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. Somebody else. Wasn't me. Alright, so we'll let that set up. And then I'll get the black done, the belt, and then the base, and then the claws at the very end. Alright, so now onto this kit. Alright, let's get this camera back a little bit. Make sure we can see what's going on. So we have our resin water. So I think when I do this, depending on, I'm probably going to have to leave it in the airbrush booth and keep the booth on for a bit while I work on some other stuff. But so I have this for my wall. I thought I had the sheet metal that I got from Home Depot in the garage, but I guess I used it up. So I'm just going to use this. So I don't know how much resin I have to fill this in. Now you could use plastic, but the problem is if you use plastic you'd have to spray it down with some mold release because the resin will bond to the plastic, but with the sheet metal it won't. So before we attach her to the base, we have to sort of, so the idea is we're going to put this against here like so. And then we're going to tape it. And then it'll fill in like that. So what I need to do is sort of tape this. Now, the problem is what's going to happen is because I really didn't plan this out perfectly, it's probably going to become messy under here. You'll probably have some resin come down. So what I might do is sort of maybe texturize this to make it look like granite after, or like cement after I'm done. So it's not just like this, so I can cover this area. So I might have to do something around the edging after. But I think once this is clear and she's standing like this, the resin will definitely bond her leg in there, and it should look pretty cool. Like it's kind of like you're looking at it from the side. So we're gonna see if this works. I don't know if it's going to, but we'll see. So we'll have to kind of tape this around the edge. So let's it's only gonna go that high. you know, up there. I wanted it to go higher, but I don't have a sheet of metal that high. So I think what we need to do is mark this. And the good thing about this sheet metal is it cuts very easy, but it will slice your fingers too, so we don't need blood drawn on YouTube, and then YouTube algorithms like, nope, can't do that. Alright, so I think what we'll do is we'll get the wall on first, and then I'll put a dab of glue on her leg, like in the key, and then we'll dab of glue in there. And I think that should work. Okay. We got two different kinds of tapes, but I think I'm going to use the Gorilla Tape. Like I said, the Gorilla Tape, and if some of this bleeds into it, it's going to be messy, but we'll work on it afterwards. Alright, so let's need to line this up to about there. It's not that I don't want to tackle it, it's just that it's a more or less when my schedule opens up and when I'm ready to take on more projects. So I'm always down for stuff, it's just that I'm so backlogged. That's my problem. I would love to do, you know, I would love to take on every commission that people ask me to, I can only do so much. And I don't want to rush anything too. I only rush Child of the Atom stuff because he's annoying. So we got to get his stuff out the door so he doesn't cry. Ooh, I said it. Ooh, he's gonna be angry. So that's pretty tight in there. You say that now, and then you go to somebody else. I know how you work. Well, I'll be honest with you, Nelson. Those people who ask me to contact them, I rarely do. It's the people who are bug me constantly are the ones who I get stuff done for, because I get so many requests I lose track. So if you're the type of person that asks me every few months, then when the slot opens up, I'll probably be able to take something on. You know, I have a lot of people that ask for stuff. I hash out all the details, and then I never hear from them again when I'm ready. So it's just I just kind of move on to the next person. Just trying to be honest on how it works. Get a lot of people that want it done now, and then if I can't do it now, they kind of disappear. So Alright, so we built the wall, and hopefully we have no leaking when we pour this resin, and we shouldn't. But because I used Gorilla Tape, by the time I pull this off, which is the next day, it might rip up some paint. So that's why we'll probably do maybe like a texture and create like rocks and gravel or whatever, looking from the side. But it looks pretty tight in there. I mean, it looks pretty good. And the only reason why looks like I'm getting a nice curve is because when I sanded this down, I have my wheel sander, and I kind of like sanded it, and I kind of turned the piece as I sanded it on the piece, and I just kept going around. So I created a nice little curve. So basically the idea is we should be able to put her like this, right? Should, if I can find the spot. There we go. And then this piece goes here like so. Right? Just like that. Now, if I put a drop of glue in there, down there, and that glue doesn't cure, and then I put in that resin water, we might get a reaction. So actually, all I'm going to do is glue this foot. I'm not going to glue this foot. And then we should mix it up and pour it in. And as long as this foot's holding, we should be good. So we're going to put a dab of glue on there, and we're going to get this set first. Yes, it is Child of the Atom's fault. He causes a lot of problems. You may think he's nice. And for those who don't know, I know him. He's a friend of mine. He's a clown, but he's a friend of mine. Alright, so let's grab our glue. Let's get our Insta set. So that should be enough to hold this in place, I'm hoping. Because I don't think she'll float up. She shouldn't float up, but you never know. And that'll hold her in there pretty well. Alright, we're going to do this in the airbrush booth because it's probably going to be some fumes. And I don't want to screw up my sinuses any more than they are with my infection at the moment. So let's let that sit and let's get set up over here. Okay, let's get my sweater off, let's get set up. So we're gonna put her in here because if there's any leaking or if I overspill it or like if you're not paying attention and you don't really do a good seal with your paint or your mold, you can leak it out, and we don't want to get clear resin all in here because this is my airbrush booth. So, but we're doing this because of fumes and it's too cold out. Alright, so this, I've had this open for a few months now, and I don't know how good it is, but we're gonna find out. So they give you syringes for A and B, the equal amounts, but we're not going that route. We're doing it the poor man's way, I guess. So we have 2 containers, and I thought I had a 3rd one, but I don't. Damn it. Let's see, what can I do? Maybe we'll mix it in a cup. So we'll measure it out, and then I'll mix it in this cup, and we should be good to go. We'll see. It's 2-to-1 ratio. Okay, so it's 2-to-1. Yeah, so it doesn't matter how much hardener you put in there, it's going to take the same amount of time. It takes about 24 hours to cure. You know, you're supposed to use gloves and all that stuff, which we probably will put a set of gloves on, but the reason why I'm using the airbrush booth is we'll get the fumes out into the garage. Now, the other thing too is you want to make sure wherever you pour this stuff, it's leveled. My table is fairly leveled, so we'll be fine. Like I said, this is all an experiment anyway. So, like I said, this seems to be okay. It doesn't seem like it looks bad. So, I think we should be good. Now, to be on the safe side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of masking tape. No, not masking tape. We're going to use blue tape. Just to put it over her. Just in case, because like I don't think the resin will make her lift up, but you never know. I had that problem when I did it with one item in the past. The clear resin started kind of like lifting the item up. So this really won't stick to her. But this will hold... pretty much like keep her down. So we'll kind of put this over here. What do you say? No, we'll do it over the leg. Let's make sure it's not too tacky. Actually, you know what we'll do? So we don't stick to her. This is what we'll do. Take a piece of tape, right? Put the tape over the other tape. So this way we don't worry about her ripping up any skin, but we sort of hold her down. So we have the tape. I don't like to let tape stick on an item overnight. So see how it's kind of, we're not getting any stickiness there. So we'll just kind of use this to sort of just keep her down. There we go, that works. Alright. Alright, let's kick on the booth. See what the hell we're doing here. I guess we should get gloves. Hey Jacob, how's it going? Busy week. Busy week. But so far, we're getting better. Alright, so it says 2-to-1, right? 2-to-1 ratio. So if you put in 4 ounces, you gotta have 2 ounces, you know? So over here on these things, it already gives you a 2-to-1 ratio. On these cups, you get these at Home Depot. So if you have up to here, you have 1 up to there. If you have 2 up to here, you have 2 to there. So you follow this 2-to-1 ratio right here. So on this cup, we're gonna see how far we fill this one up. I'm pretty sure this will fill up pretty well. I want to use all this anyway, so let's just kind of go with it. You know what? Well, I think that would be enough. Ah, screw it. We're just gonna use it all. I don't give a shit. Whatever. And we're just gonna pour the other bottle in. I don't care. I really don't. It's an experiment. There's no sense in trying to make it perfect. This stuff is so old right now anyway, we might as well just burn it. So we're doing it the way I don't really care what happens. So we're gonna save that bottle, and then we're just gonna pour this in and see what happens. But when I open this up, this stuff is getting kind of crusty here, so that let me know that this stuff is getting older. So screw it. Sometimes you just gotta say screw it and see what happens. Now, what we do is we will use this bottle screw. So, when I was at the Jersey Fest show in 2018 and I was talking to the guy from Smooth On, what he said is, when you mix your chemicals in this bottle, right, and then you pour it into a statue, you still are not completely mixed everything out. So he says what you should do is you should mix your resin in this cup, pour that mixed resin into another cup, mix that, and then pour it in, because then this way you don't get any residue stuck on this cup or your tool or whatever. So that's what he said, and it seems to work. I'm gonna also open up a window a bit. Now, so far when I did use this stuff in the past, this AK Interactive clear stuff is amazing. And I really like it, so I'm going to utilize it more often. I would like to do a better clear coat like scenario with a swimsuit anime kit like this again down the line. But this, I just want to make sure this works. Alright, so basically he says you take your mixing tool, you throw this away, and then you pour this into this cup, and you mix it again with a fresh mixing tool. And I want to put these cups in the garage too. I'll get them out of here. So I might have to demold this. Maybe when I demold it tomorrow or Sunday, I'll do a quick stream or a video or something, so you guys can see how it looks. Because I'll try to do it on the stream. So now the only problem though is pouring it. You got to pour it where you don't hit anything. So I think we're mixed up pretty well. Make your life a little easier. Kind of give it a little piece. And then what you do is just pour it really, really slow. Let it kind of seep down. Just really, really slow. So I'm going to try to move the camera in for you. We might go black for a second. Alright, we're still okay. I just want to make sure we're still So I'm not seeing any leaking at the bottom, so that's a good sign. And I think we mixed up just enough for this, but I'm not sure. Looks like it. Oh, not enough. That's fine. Now, sadly, I do know you're supposed to use like a blowtorch and sort of kind of get out the bubbles, but I don't have a blowtorch for that. You know, like one of those little mini torches. But basically what's going to happen is I'm going to put on that that AK interactive stuff on top of it afterwards, and we'll kind of create waves. So now this like I said, this resin might be old to the point where it doesn't cure correctly, so this might be a complete mess, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, so if this is a water gel transparent, so you could kind of create waves with this stuff. If this stuff is still good and hasn't gone bad, we could kind of create like little ripples. No, I won't blow. I don't need to blow on it. What I could do is I could lower my airbrush. A little too much. I know what I do. I need to invest in one of those little tiny torches that people use for like lighting a cigarette. I need to get one of those, and I think I can use that to kind of get rid of all these bubbles. But they sort of go away anyway, though. This stuff kind of cures up. It takes time, so they kind of go away. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, the only problem with the heat gun is I'll melt whatever here, like the figure. You need a blowtorch where you can actually single point the area. Otherwise, the heat gun will screw everything up. So I don't, like I said, I don't care. I want to see if this works. If this works, then my idea down the line for a future item would be better. So it's all an experiment. So I'm not seeing any leaking at the bottom, down around in there or anything, so that's good. Not seeing any from the side. Ow, hit my head. No, I'm not seeing any leaking there. I don't want to move it because I accidentally like tip her over. Yeah, we're looking good. So I'm gonna leave this with the airbrush booth for a while. So I'm gonna leave this on, and then this way like later when I shut down for the night, I can kind of just let it sit. So And then what I'll try to do is demold it on the stream live. You know, maybe we'll do like a 15-minute stream and see what happens. So that's pretty much it. You know, you just kind of build your wall, you let it sit, and then the next day you pull it off and see what happens. AK Interactive makes a die for it. So there is dies that you can get for this, so you can kind of create these like different, kind of pull this back a bit. So there's different dies you can buy for this, so you can get different colors in here. So they have all kinds of, you have to use a die though, you can't just like use paint, otherwise it reacts to it. But they have pictures here where you can enclose something, so you should be able to do it fairly thick too, you know. You know, and I guess you can make stuff like this too. So it's all a matter of toying with it and getting used to what you can and can't do. Yeah, regular lighter would, but I don't have a regular lighter. I have I don't know, I do have the grill thing. Now watch this thing just go up in flames if we try this. See, I don't know. Yeah, that works. See? Light this thing up in flames. See, the reason why I want the torch is because you can actually hit it in areas. This place goes down because of you, child ad. I'm moving in with you, you know that, right? So you better get the couch ready for me. See, the reason why I want to test this though is because I want to see if the paints I use react to it and the paint starts to come apart. When I did the smooth cast, you know, the smooth on crystal clear, that stuff reacted to the paints. This stuff seems to not react to the paints too much, so it's actually not bad. Yeah, see, a flame gets rid of the bubbles real quick. It's just that I don't want to light the damn thing on fire, especially the tape. Yeah, it really gets rid of those bubbles. I got rid of most of them. Yeah, but a little flame torch thing, you could go in there, because I see those guys that do those like tables with the lava and water effects, you know, with wood, and they use the blowtorch and it goes right out. So burning the damn paint. Alright, we're gonna let that sit. We'll see. I'll try maybe tomorrow, or if I can, do a quick stream and we'll demold it. We're gonna let that sit. Alright, let's see where we left off with this last time. You know what it is? I'm not looking behind me, and it's probably like up in flames right now. I'm not even paying attention. So anyway, we last time we got this on here, right? And we did all this stuff here for Psylocke. We went ahead. Go this way. So I went ahead during the week and I kind of added a little Aves and kind of fix up the arm a bit, add a little bit of stuff around there because I had a little extra Aves and I sort of cleaned up some areas around the edging. Her sash is pretty much ready to go, just got to clean it up, so this goes on pretty well now, nice and smooth. So I just need a day in the garage to work on her, get her cleaned up, sand her down, prime it again, get everything ready for paint. And then this stuff right here, we have to sort of plan this out a little bit more for the trees. So, let's sort of get organized. So like I said, what I think I'll do is if I could get her ready for painting, I can start the paint work on her, and we can still sort of work on this during the Fridays. And if she's all done, then I can have the base ready by then. I think we're just gonna freaking plan this out a bit, and then maybe what I'll do is I'll go back to painting that one anime kit. But I just kind of want to get an idea of how I'm gonna set this up. So, if we add these pieces to here, like I said, what'll happen is these could probably break off, especially like one that's over here. Is this the one that goes here? Or it's this one? It's this one. They seem to go on pretty well, but I still feel that it's gonna break, because you see how this kind of, this isn't really durable. What I'm thinking is I might have to go do like this in a garage one day, and what I might have to do is sort of take a rod, put it up here, but bend this rod going into this and chop this piece off, and then create a key with a magnet that goes into these better, because this part here is too weak for this, you know. This is not durable enough, because honestly, I tell you right now, if you hit this piece like that, that's going to snap in a second. So to make this more durable, if I put a piece and I bend this at like an angle and I put a nice rod into here, this won't break. Now, I mean, yeah, of course, you smack it on your hand, this piece could break off, but at least it won't like snap with just a little, like even just by putting this in here like this, I feel that it's kind of like wiggling and it might snap. So, and the same thing with this one here, these two. So with this one, what I'm thinking of doing is I could get a rod just to go straight up, and then I could get another rod to go straight up here and here. And then what I could do is I could put the hollow brass rods in there and they could just clip onto it. Now you don't have to do a magnet in there. I think if you just have the hollow brass rod holding it, it'll be fine because the weight is going to keep it down. And then same thing with this piece on this end. What I'll do is I'll Dremel this out, and I'll Dremel out a little part here, and I'll bend the rod coming up, and then basically I'll use Aves, and then this way this could go in there. So I'll have to kind of cut this, which I could probably do right now. Like I might even accidentally cut off the white part, but we'll see. Though it went flying. So yeah, I'll have to bend the piece in here as well. And then, let's see, we have this piece here, right? We have these two pieces up here. And then, I think this one is the one that goes here. Yeah. So we have one more that I broke off. So, what I might do is do another one over here, and then have one like right there, you know? A little short one, kind of bending up, and then we'll put it like right there. I think that'll look good. You know, just to kind of set it up a little bit more. Should work like that. So this way you could just take them, you could pop them on there, and what I'll have to do is I'll have to color code them. Because if they're all the same little key piece, so I'll put like a dab of white here and like a dab of white there, so that you know that that white one goes there, like yellow for there, and then red, and it makes it easier to kind of know which ones are going where. So if I can get those done, that'll work out pretty well. I'm going to do those before I attach this whole piece, because I think trying to work on this piece here is going to I'm gonna have this whole thing attached, because I don't like the way these things, because the one piece broke already on us, remember? It was this piece here. So I'm gonna Dremel that out, we'll attach this all, and we'll paint this all as one piece, so this way we don't have to worry. This will be a nice solid piece, and because this right here is just asking for someone to snap this by accident. And then we also need to add a magnet in here. They have a hole for a magnet, but they didn't add a magnet in here, so because if not, this is a little bit loose. And then I gotta just sand down the base, add the magnets to these teeth, and then we also have this piece here, so, and there's no magnet on this one either. Yeah, I got some work to do, but we're getting warmer weather, so I'll be able to plug away on all this stuff. See, we even got like a little air bubble here. Now, if I was in the LED lights, I could put an LED light in there, but I don't. So I'm not going to even try that. If I wanted to, I could, but this would be a pain in the ass to get an LD in there, to figure out how it would work. So that's where Psylocke is right now. So I have to just do a good day of sanding, a day of garage work to get all this going, and then what we'll do is we'll get this start getting this painted up in a video series. I'm getting there slowly. Just need that one good day in the garage. We gotta get a nice warm day going. Now, as for Harley, did have a chance to sort of do some A's work. Alright. So what I did is I had some extra A's and I filled in her area here to kind of create this arm. So I need to sand this down, and then I got to create the glove over here. And once it's sanded down, we're going to take the shirt that's over here and we're going to bring it down to like right about there. So this will be skin showing, and then this will be the shirt rolled down. And the ears worked out pretty well. I just didn't sand her down. I primed her up though, but the ears worked out great. So Raz did a good job on that. So she comes off pretty well. So basically she clicks off really well. We got the magnet there. So you just put this in here and like that, and it just clicks. So Harley's pretty much ready to go too. There's a little spot over here I have to sand. Keep missing this spot. I keep forgetting that one spot. But yeah, the ears worked out great. She was looking really weird without them. So I'm gonna hopefully I'm hoping we get this nice weather coming. We're starting to get slowly warmer weather. I'm hoping next week we get a day where I can just sit in the garage and I can just sand stuff. I got a ton of stuff to sand. I got a couple kits I gotta prep up. So I'm hoping to do like a morning to night thing in the garage, and I'm gonna sand these two down too as well. So we'll get them going. It sucks though when I get to these point on the customs. I need a day in the garage, and I just haven't had those days. So but I figured let's kind of paint her up a little bit. This kit, I haven't worked on this one in a while, so see where we left off last time. Alright, so let's see. We have her outfit, we have her other outfit here. I forgot what we were going to do on some of this. Yeah, I wanted to do a red leather stripes type thing. So let's get some red paint. I did have a picture of her. Right? No. What's that? No, not that one. Anime? Her. So this paint right here already has a mixture of red and mahogany in it. That's okay, we'll kind of utilize it. So the red kind of did the whole piece there, so let's kind of Oops. That was a mistake. That's why it's always good to try to seal your paint as much as you can. I don't know, should I do a black trim on the outfit instead of reds? I'm trying to think. I kind of like how it's turning like shiny, but it also has this darker red lines. So what I'm thinking of doing is we take some mahogany with this, and we start kind of hitting in some of the areas without dropping it. I'm thinking maybe do the black trim instead of the red trim on the shirt and the bottom of the shirt. So maybe do black down here and then black around there. Yeah, Raccoon, I actually saw that one. Didn't they just send out an email of that one, like, the other day or something? I'm not gonna get that one. I got too many other ones that are actually in my shelf now, but that one would be a fun paint up too. You should definitely get it. This thing is gonna be one of those kits, huh? Yeah, I think I'm gonna do a black trim on it. I didn't see that one. I'll have to look that one up. I mostly look, most of the ones I look at are the bunny girls and the swimsuits. Only because I kind of get like better custom ideas with those. That's kind of like why I like the anime kits, because they're so crazy and out there. The poses just are not natural at all. But they are funny though. But I want to do some customs off with these, you know, down the line. because they are kind of fun. It's just I like to find the 1/4 scale ones more. The smaller ones are always I don't like those too much. Like this one, too small for me. So I try to stick to the 1/4 more. Although they are getting kind of raunchy on the site, though. They are some of the ones that they're making now are really out there. Yeah, I got a couple that have been on order for like 3 years now, still waiting. Yeah, I think the black trim looks better like that. It's kind of hard to see over here. I kind of don't have the arm line too much. I think it goes right here to here. It goes over here. Then it connects to this one here. And I think this one is right here. It's really hard to see. It's like the casting sort of lost its detail, so I'm sort of seeing it, but I'm not. And then there's another one sort of underneath her arm here. It comes down here. Like that. Yeah, I'm almost kind of just liking the mahogany lines more than anything, but I'm actually showing paintbrush strokes to kind of make it look a little weird, like it's not perfect lines on her. Sort of makes it a little bit rougher looking against the silkiness. Just some of these lines are just not there. You know what it is too, working on such small stuff like this, you start to get burnt out. I don't know if you do or not, but for me, it's like after a while, it's like, oh, it's just too small. And the idea is we take the black. Yeah, I used to use my desk lamp too, and then as I started getting older and I needed couldn't really see through it too much. Plus, it would always hit my item. I got the headgear. The headgear just makes life a lot easier now. Although you still see sometimes in the streams I even hit the items with the headgear. But it works. I think if anything, it's more I get like, you know, the arm starts cramping up with little tiny details. You know, because I'm kind of leaning over too. So sometimes I gotta just do some stretching, stuff like that. Yeah, these stripes are a pain in the ass, and I know it's kind of boring to watch me do it in the stream. Um, but this is kind of, and I'm using airbrush paint to do it too because it's a little bit it's watered down, so it doesn't create as much strokes. But you sort of have to do it kind of like layering it. But I like the way that's looking now, though. Now I know some of the hair is gonna cover some of the back of it, but I don't know. I don't remember how much, so I'm still gonna paint what I see. I just thought it would look kind of cool with the silkiness and then the stripes painted. Just trying something a little different with it. I've seen a couple actually other people that have painted this up, and a lot of people have done some really interesting paint ups. So this is one of those items I think a lot of people are gonna really do some different things with it, which is good. Kind of get a little bit of variety out there with this one. Raz, this kit's gonna be around for a long time. I doubt this kit's ever going to be stopped being made. It seems everybody loves this one. I mean, hell, even Kotobukiya, right? Is that how you say it? Kotobukiya? They're making a PVC of this item too. I'm pretty sure it started as a kit and they took it, or maybe they did it and it ended up as a kit. I don't remember, but I just think this is going to be one of those kits you just always see for sale. I think it just, people love it way too much. Yeah, I forget how to say it, raccoon, so don't even worry about it. But all those Kodo girls, they all get recasted anyway. I'm seeing all those kits of those being pumped out everywhere. But that goes back to the laws in that country, so they don't have those type of laws we do. Yeah, I'm with you on there. I got a couple on order, and then all of a sudden I see more get on order, come out. I'm like, oh, I wish I got this one instead. So what I'm doing right now is I'm not going to order any more until I get the ones I already have on order, and I want to see what they come out with by the end of the year. Because there was like 2 that came out where bunny girls were sort of like kneeling down. And I thought that would be good for like a Bowsette type custom again, and I'll try another one. And then all of a sudden, I didn't pull the trigger on it. And then like a month later, they came out with one similar but better sculpt. So I figured I'm just gonna kind of wait for a while. I'll keep an eye on them if they actually, you know, do a gathering and stuff like that, or if I see another site make them. But I gotta just kind of stop to myself. I got way too many side projects. I didn't screw this up, did I? Why is this... I did. Oh, I did screw it up, son of a bitch. I did. Damn it. What I needed to do is the centerpiece should have been done. And that's what went wrong. Alright, I'm gonna have to probably touch this up now. All I'm doing is really just licking saliva onto it. Sort of like pulling it off without scraping the bottom layer. I can't really hit the airbrush booth now, son of a bitch. Alright, I'm gonna have to touch that up. I need to stretch the back anyway, so let's kind of go on to this one. Let's do the black trim on her. What happened was, so I should have did the line here, and then this line here and then this line here. What I did was this one by accident, so I should bring the black line coming down in the center with the buttons and go from there. So I'll have to just hit this with a little bit of paint and then go from there. It's alright, it's kind of a little side thing, kind of doing every once in a while. If my booth didn't have that kit drying right now, I would mess with it, but I don't want to mess with that booth at the moment. That's what I get for not paying attention over the lines. You thought I was doing it right, but I was wrong. But we'll fix it. Guess we'll do the belt buckles. Oh, I guess we'll do them with black as well. See, even my hand is starting to cramp up too. Wonder if I should do the belt buckles in gunmetal instead of just black. Make them look metallic, maybe. gonna start making mistakes. It's starting to cramp up too much. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll kind of mask off this area here real quick, and then I'll just kind of hit it with that red paint again, and then I'll touch it all back up. And then what I'll do is I'll put the black line going down here in the center, and that should bring it together pretty well. I think it's shaping up pretty good. I kind of like the way it's looking. It'll look good with her face. I'm just, my wrist is hurting. I gotta stretch for a second. Let's look at the kit, see how it's doing. So bubbles are looking pretty well. I'm not really getting too many fumes from it. Little bubbling around her foot there. But that's okay. Looking inside, I'm not seeing any of the paint peel up, because right about now, what was it? The crystal clear from Smooth On would be peeling up. But we are actually getting a little leaking. Actually, see, we're getting a little tiny leaking down there. So as much as I thought I put some pressure there, it's kind of leaking a bit, but it's not leaking to the point where it's pulling out. So I'm just gonna leave it alone. I'm not even gonna mess with it, because if I try to lift it right now, I'll pour that resin everywhere. So it's kind of fine to leave it as is. But if it was pouring out all over the place, then I would say it's a lost, done deal. But it should work out pretty well. I mean, can you guys see that leaking there? Maybe if I turn it this way, you can kind of see it like right there. So that leaking actually could be coming from the tape there, or it could be coming from the tape there and coming underneath. So I'm not really sure where. But all in all, it's okay. It's not gonna, for all I know, like shaking it, it kind of looks like it's gelled up a little bit already. So if it gels up a little bit, then you're safe. You don't really have to worry too much. If it was really, really liquid at the moment still, then maybe it would peel and go all over the place, but I think it's looking fine. What could happen is it could be the metal sort of stretched a bit, and it pulled the tape off at the bottom, because I didn't tape it really, really well. So that could probably be why that's kind of leaking there. But it looks okay. No, it's not gonna ruin it. If it was pouring at the bottom and it was going down, then yeah, that would be a done deal, and it would be a throwaway kit. You know, I would just kind of cut off the leg or something. But that's just a very, very tiny bit leak. I've had leaks in the past when I've done two-part molds, where when I demolded it, like all the resin was gone, and it was like a hollow shell, and it was all peeling. It was a nasty mess, but this is not going to do anything. Like I said, I think it's already gelled up. We can experiment real quick. So this little drop here, like see this little, can we see this drop in here in the chat? Let me just make sure. So there's a little drop here. Yeah, so it's kind of gelling. Think of it as like hair gel right now. It looks like it's kind of like hair gel right now. So it's not like thick gel. It's not like pudding gel, like, you know, Jello, but it's kind of like a hair gel. If you squeeze out of the tube, it's a little bit wet, but it's kind of jelly like. So that's kind of where it's at right now. So because it's got that little bit of a jelly-like feel to it, it's not going to pool. So we're safe bet now. If it was still liquid and pouring, then we would have it would be a shit show. Well, we're good. So I'm just going to leave it alone. All right, I think that's where I'm going to call it. My wrist is tired from that. I'm a little sore, and I gotta actually paint my TV room tomorrow, so I can start working on my collection setup. So like I said, we'll be working on her a little bit each week. You know, maybe next week we'll do some more to her. You know, we'll spend maybe a half hour on her again. Hopefully I'll have her ready to go from there. And then what I want to do is I want to actually put her together on stream, and we'll see how she kind of looks when she's all said and done. But real quick, just putting this leg here. Looks pretty good. Turned out to be pretty cool. Alright, that's where I'm going to shut down the stream for now. I'm going to really try hard for next week to get these kits up and ready so we can start getting back on them. We got to start plugging away. So you guys have a good weekend, and hopefully in a month or two, I'll be able to show off my collection room.